Lakeland Public Television's Common Ground is brought to you by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
I started at about 8 years old being interested in the military. I read everything on the Civil War that was possible to get a hold of. I got into arguments all the time with my social studies teacher because I would tell him things about the Civil War that he didn't even know about. And my military background began actually in ROTC in University of Missouri in Columbia, Missouri. And I took 2 years of that. Then I went down to Mankato very shortly after that, and the guys at Mankato said, well, we're infantry, come with us. So I spent 9 years in the infantry at Mankato. Then I came to Long Prairie and joined an ordnance crew. Well, actually in between I jumped to the combat engineer. So I actually ended up being in artillery, infantry, combat engineers, and ordnance, transportation, and administration. So all those different ones. It was in September of '66, I joined the 52nd OC Company at Fort Benning, Georgia. I went out back to the University of Missouri and I worked as a police officer from 1970 to '77. And I worked for the railroad for 2 years. And in '79 I came up to Minnesota and been here ever since. And I continued with the history thing. I really did. I did all the history stuff for the units that I was attached to in the regular Army, one of which was the 31st Infantry, and they were the ones in the Philippines. Well, I think this is their heritage. This makes it something they can look at, understand, and it's a interactive way to teach kids history. I did this program from 1988 until 2004 when I got out. I was still doing programs for the Guard, very much similar to this. And so then once I retired, I decided, well, it's fun, I'll do some more. So I've been doing it ever since. All right, who wants to be what? Who's pretty small? I don't want a... Yes, let's see if we can get you in the Korean uniform. Here you go. Let's fix you up as a tanker from the Cold War period.
Okay.
All right, that's your helmet. Just put the shirt on and button it up. You're done.
Alrighty.
All right, we got you fixed. But this guy had some importance because you see these? This indicates that he was somewhere in the 8th Army in the headquarters section, because this he wouldn't have had if he hadn't been. So I'm thinking he was probably, and he spent quite a bit of time over there. That's about 6 months per time, so it's about 18 months he was over there. And I'm thinking he was maybe a stenographer or somebody like that. Who else we got here? You want to wear this one? All right, you could probably fit in that. You have become an Air Force DI. How about a modern...
There goes the hat.
That'll fit you. That'll fit you. You just enlisted in the Navy. All right. I can use another World War I guy. Let's see if this is going to fit you. Not bad. Put that on. Who else wants to be a Marine? You do, huh? You want this hat? Okay, there you go. Now, put this one on. Just you know, put it on and button it up. You just joined the 6th Marines. Would you like to be an Air Force fighter pilot?
Okay.
Well, I think you should be. Now, this is called a crusher.
Okay.
The way this works, you put it on your head, and then you put that earphones. Uh-oh. Well, that's all right. It didn't hurt it too bad.
Earphones on top.
You put the earphones on top of it, which causes it to come down and fold like that.
Okay.
Okay? All right, there you go. Okay. We'll see if we can't get you guys up here. Yeah, okay now. You two and behind her. Yeah, you come on down. Okay, good. Okay. Not bad for a bunch of people with no pants, huh? Okay, what we have today is we're going to do a little fashion show for you. And these are the various representations, they're at least the tunic and the blouse of the uniforms that have been worn by the soldiers from the First World War until the present day. As close as we can get it with what we have. This is the man that was in the trenches. This uniform came in late 1917, and we can tell because his insignia has changed. This is the 3rd Corps insignia. This is the first time that the Army ever adopted the distinctive insignia to a unit. And so this is the first one. This little red stripe tells us this man was wounded in service. All of them with red stripes on that sleeve will be that. You'll notice that he has no rank, so he's a PFC, and he's wearing the good old tin hat which protected him in the trench. Come on up. This is our soldier from Minnesota. He belongs to the 34th Division, the Red Bulls, the same as you see on these gentlemen right up here. He's got the combat gear on for the sergeants. He has a pistol, he has a canteen, and this web gear can be adapted to put packs and things like that on it. His blouse is a Eisenhower jacket, so that places him after 1943. The Red Bull fought in Italy, and it was some of the most difficult fighting in the world, and they still have the honor of being the longest in combat in World War II. Our latest people to join the Marine Corps, and she's wearing one of the blouses of the Lady Marines. And it's especially, they have a uniform especially designed for them. You see that there is quite a bit of difference between the two uniforms. So this is a later Marine uniform. It's probably from possibly the 70s, 80s, something like that. But that's the Lady Marine uniform. So this uniform would be typically used in the Korean War by the Navy pilots that were flying off the carriers in support of the Marine Corps and the Army. This other young gentleman is wearing the typical onboard work uniform, and most of the Navy ships have now adopted the baseball cap with such insignias, and we really certainly welcome them as veterans and as all the accolades they deserve. That basically is our fashion show, and I want to thank the young ladies and gentlemen here for assisting us, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. You're excused. Go back to your seats. Most of the job that I did for the museum was to identify the uniforms and equipment and what era it was and things like that, because it can be very confusing. So it's just one of those continual things. I've got a considerable library, and now that the computers come along, it makes it easier to identify things. I had all this stuff, I might as well do something with it. I got it at flea markets and garage sales, and my captain used to say, "I think you could smell those things." I said, "Yep, I go by them and I see them from a mile away." And so I picked them up. But that's how I got into it, and it's been fun, and I'm still doing it, and I'm going to keep doing it.
If you enjoyed this segment of Lakeland Public Television's Common Ground, consider making a contribution at lptv.org. If you have segment ideas pertaining to North Central Minnesota, contact us at legacy@lptv.org. Common Ground is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund by the vote of the people on November 4th, 2008.